There we go. And enable. And from beginning. Okay, solve the equation. At this point, use definition of a logarithm. Multiply both sides by 1, or divide both sides by 150. Okay, that's what they're going to do. So divide by 150 on both sides. And I don't have my whiteboard. Go ahead and write that one down. I'll pull up the whiteboard in just a minute. Go ahead and write down. This is where we do definition of a logarithm. Now, when you're doing equations with logs, there's two ways to do them. One, take the log of both sides. The other is definition of a logarithm. How do you know the difference? Well, somebody in here tell me how you know the difference between playing an E on a guitar and playing a G on a guitar. How do you know the difference?
They sound different.
By the sound, but how do you learn that sound, and how do you learn where to put your fingers? Do you know how to do it the first time you play a guitar? Practice, yes. That's how you know the difference between using the definition of logarithm and taking the log of both sides is with practice. Now let me go put up the whiteboard. Sorry about that. There we go. And new, and that, and where's my... Oh, there it is. There we go. So, where's the slideshow? There we go, from current slide. So, at this point, we're going to take our handy-dandy divide by 15, 1, 5, or 15 on both sides, basically, because the 0 is going to cancel. So, I'm going to divide by 150, divide by 150, and that goes out. And what's 300 divided by 15? 20?
Yeah.
20 is equal to 10 to the 4t, and this is definition of logarithm. So take the definition of a logarithm, which is x is equal to a to the y, and rewrite it as a logarithm. So y is what?
4t.
4t is equal to log base a. What is a? Log base 10 of what?
20.
20. Now divide by 4. And somebody take the log of 20 in your calculator. And that's going to be, I'm just going to write log of 20 over 4. They'll show us what it is on the... Okay, now that is how you use the definition of a logarithm to solve an equation. Now, how do you know? Could you do taking the log of both sides? Yes, you could. But we're not ready for that yet because we haven't done that yet. So this one you might want to write down as an example of definition of a logarithm. There you go. Log of 20 over 4, 0.32526. Question, Pendleton.
So is
Go ahead. What?
yeah, log like, so what's the formula for log?
The definition of a logarithm.
Okay, the x equals a.
X. Oh, crap. Hold on. Definition of a logarithm is x equal a to the y yields y is equal to log base a of x. Remember the first thing I told you to memorize? That's it. And you can go both ways. Now, you can also graph this, okay? You can also graph y is equal to 3,000. Y is equal to 3,000, and y is equal to 150 times 10 to the 4t. And find the intersection point. Which one you going to be tested on, the first one or this one? The
First one.
I'm going to, now, is this a 10% question? Yes. I'll go ahead and tell you. You will get one graphing exponential. We did that in the first section. What, 5.1? F of x is equal to 2 to the x power. Everybody remember doing that one? Okay? And then you will get one graphing a logarithm. It may be like this one. But that's part of your 10% questions. F of x is equal to whatever this comes out to be, or you can do, it's an exponential, but you can also graph it as a logarithm also. So you're talking about two questions on a 20 or a 10 question test. You're talking about two questions. So I wouldn't worry too much about this one. Make sure you can graph it on the calculator and make sure you can find this point. Okay? Which most of you should be able to do by now since we've been through 3 units. I think you should be able to use your graphing calculator. Okay? All right, this is continuous. I don't know what they're wanting you to do here, but this is continuous, or what do they say? Prove that the time it takes for an investment to double its size is t is equal to natural log of 2 over r, and the interest rate is compounded. Okay, this is continuous interest. Just, I think we've already talked about this. This is not a test question, but I want you to write this down. This is continuous interest. Have we talked about continuous and compound interest?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
No? Okay, this is continuous interest. Compound interest is A is equal to P times 1 plus R over N raised to the NT power. Okay, make sure you know those two. This question is not a test question. I don't understand what they want us to prove, and then it just shows the solution. Let me see if it has another part, but I really don't care about you proving this. So they're just wanting you to solve this. They want you to solve this, and instead of putting S, they want you to put 2p, and that 2p, where's the double? Double its value right here. I don't know how I keep jumping off the pen. I don't know how I keep doing that, but anyway. Double its value. So you're going to change this S to a 2p is equal to PERT to the RT, and you're going to solve it. But I really don't care about this. But make sure you know how to use those two formulas of plug and chug.
This is the one on the right.
Huh?
What formula?
Compound interest. Compound interest. And like I say, you will see this in the videos. I know you'll see it in 110 videos, the videos that I've posted, because I think we went over it in there. But they were more plug and chug. This is more derivation. So I don't care about derivation on this test. I want you to solve. Okay, here's a plug and chug. There it is. So I really don't care about this. I want you, if we ever get there, okay, this is change of base formula. It is 100% going to be on the test. Just do this one. Okay? Change base formula. That's about the 5th thing that you're responsible for on your properties. Your calculator, if you have an older calculator, write this down. Your calculator can only calculate log base 10 and log base what? E. Now write this down because it's very important. Log base 10 is LOG. Somebody tell me what log base E is. Natural log.
See, I thought that was like an IN, and I got like a question wrong on the assignment.
Yeah, it's supposed to be an LN. I'm going to put an L, capital LN, that's natural log. It's a capital L, but most of your calculators, it looks like an I. All right? Okay? Now, if you have a problem like this, and this is going to be on a standardized test, and it's going to be on this test. If you have something like this, can you do that on an older calculator? No. Now, what I mean, an older calculator? Well, you know these idiot boxes now, they do everything. They take you to dinner and put you to bed and everything else. Okay? That's why we got people that can't spell race car backwards. All right? We got people that can't make change because they depend on a calculator so much. So, when you type in log, it's going to ask you for the base on the new calculators. It's going to say log, and it's going to have a base, and you put 4, and then you put 5. And then it'll calculate it. It won't even make you do this, because I guess that requires a little bit of thinking on the part of the person. Okay, so we don't want you to think. We want you to just fall in line and do what you're told. So if you have log base 4 of 5, then we're going to change it to log of 5 over the log of what? 4. That's how you would do this. Or if you don't like log and it's just a personal preference, use ln of 5 over ln of what? 4. Now, go ahead and do both of those, and you'll see you'll get the same answer. So go ahead and do those in your calculator. This is one test question. Now, could it be included in your solve an equation questions? Yes. But as far as one question that if you miss it, you don't tell anybody, that's one. There'll be one of these on the test that'll say, find the log base 4 of 5. And that's going to be all. Now, you may also have it in the solve an equation questions included. But as far as just one question, so now you're going to have one graphing question on, 2 graphing questions, one on, and then one question, change base formula. Okay, so out of 10 questions, you're going to have 3 questions that are a little bit easy, and the rest of them are going to come from 5.2 and 5.3. Okay? What I should do is do like math teachers, teach all this stuff and then make the test totally different. That's what I should do. What do you think, Pendleton?
No,
They're too
I
busy
don't.
watching their laptops. Oh, they're taking notes. I'm sorry. All right, so here we go. Log base 8 of 124. So that's log of 124 over log of 8. Or natural log of 124 over natural log of 8. And both of those will give you the same answer, which is, I'm trying, people. I don't know what's wrong with this thing. Can't be me. Okay, 2.318. So check both of them, and you should get. Now that's a test question, so write that down as a test question along with log base 5 and 4. Make sure your calculator can do it. At least you can make a 40 on the test with the bonus questions. This one right. Okay? Even though some people will still make a 20. And you can graph that function, log of 3 over log of x over log of 3. I don't really care. Okay, this is something you should be able to graph on a graphing calculator. And how do you graph it? You don't put log base 3. Now, these new calculators will probably do it. A TI-84 Plus or more probably will be able to do it. I don't know about the TI-83, so go ahead and try to type in. I don't think it will let you type in log base 3 of x. So if it's not, then you change base and do log x over the log of 3 or natural log of x over natural log of 3, and boom, you can graph it. Again, we're not talking about, when I get to the questions, it's going to make up 30 to 40% of your test, which is out of this section, I'll tell you, probably in a minute or two. God Almighty.
Jeez.
Okay, so this is not continuous interest, but it's compounded. Already shows you this, and it follows that same, and you just have to graph it. Now, they may ask you to graph this and find certain points for X, like the first year. T is equal to what in business? T is equal to number of years in business. Now, a lot of people don't know that, even though they think they're water walkers. They don't know that. If I say you put money into a bank account for 6 months, what is T? Pendleton, what is T when I say 6 months?
1/2.
1/2. Very good. Somebody's paying attention.
Daggum.
Okay, I know. One out of 13 ain't bad. All right. So T is the number of years. So you're going to have some kind of function that looks like this. And of course, at 1 year, it's this much. At 2 years, it's this much. At 3 years, it's this much. And then at a certain point, it's going to what? It's going to like take off. And that's probably what they're going to ask you to do here. So make sure, and you don't type in, you don't multiply 10,000 times 1.10. You don't do that. You got to do what's here first. So you type in 10,000 times, parentheses, 1.110 or 1.10, x to the caret symbol, x power, close parentheses. And that's going to give you a function that looks like this. Okay, they're doing, I don't know, though they're doing definition of a logarithm. You can do it that way also. You're still going to get the same function. Okay? And at 16, if you graph the function and they want you to know how many years, you can look at the y and find the y, or you can set y equal, I wasn't reading the directions, 45,950 is equal to what? 10,000, 1.10t, and this is just like the first problem we did. Divide by 10,000, then you have the definition of a what? Definition of a logarithm. And then you solve it just like that first problem. We still haven't gotten to the ones. I think they're going to, you know what they're going to do? The most important problems they're going to put on one slide, and then that's going to be the end of the slides. Just like they did in the last section. Hopefully this is where we're getting into. Yes, this is it. Okay, so this is where we're starting the equations. The first one you can do by definition of a logarithm, or you can take the log of both sides. I want you to do both and see what you come up with. If you freeze or you stop, that's fine. I want you to try to do both of them. I want you to do definition of a logarithm and solve it. And then I want you to take the log or the natural log of both sides and see if you can solve it. Okay, everybody, this is not on your laptops. Everybody's supposed to be working on a piece of notebook paper. Jake, did you bring any notebook paper?
Of course.
Yeah.
Always.
Mr. Smith, does he have notebook paper or is he lying?
He's got it right here.
Okay, he's just not using it. He's watching porn.
No, I don't. I broke some, but I fixed it.
So, I'm going to write 4096 right here. I'm just going to start it off for some of you that been watching movies. 4096 is equal to 8 to the 2x. So that's the definition of a logarithm. So what is y?
Y is
2x is equal to what? Log base 8 of what?
4096.
Okay, and now you can go through and this is very important. Somebody tell me And I'm going to highlight this because it's green, and that means it's important. And this is for those of you that's heading toward DiffEq and calc and all that. Somebody tell me what this is. And it is a change-based formula, but that's not what I'm asking. Somebody tell me what that is. It's not a log. I know it's a log. I know it's a change-based formula. But what is it? Somebody tell me what it is.
It is an inverse.
No, it's not inverse. I'm leaving it vague for a reason. I'm asking a vague question, but I want to see what you come up with. It's a log, it's log, it's a change-based formula, but what is it? What is all logs? Keep going. What is that called in math? Start from the end. It's a number. Okay, why is that very important? Okay, again, we're not working on the computer, so why are y'all on the computer? Okay, tell me why y'all are on the computer. Because now you are not being rude, you're being disrespectful. Because I'm trying to teach you something, and if you already know it, get the hell out of the room, okay? Pendleton, Easy, y'all already know this material. I don't hear anything. You already know it? Hello? You don't know it, do you? If you do know it, I'll go ahead and let you take the final exam and the last test, and you can be through with this material. Okay, the next time I'm doing a problem and you're working on the computer when I'm not even on the computer, that tells me, one, you're being rude, and two, you're being disrespectful. And I'll call you out next time because I've already gave you 2 warnings. You may be rude and disrespectful in your other classes, but I'm not going to tolerate it. Good God.
You're my favorite professor.
I feel sorry for some of y'all's employers in the future. All right. Now, if you're going through calculus, okay, for those of you that's going to calculus 1 and calculus 2, some of you may be going into engineering calculus and differential equations. You're going to see this again. When you have the log of anything, you basically have a number. Now, why am I telling you this? Because how many times have you been in a logarithmic homework, whether in the past or now, and you just see the log of a bunch of stuff and you don't know what to do? That's why I'm telling you this, because most of the time when you have something like this, all it is what? It's a number. So go ahead and change it into a number as quick as you can so you won't let the anxiety set in and make you quit the problem. Okay? So you've got 2x is equal to, somebody give me that number because I'm not going to write all that over and over. And you can change base, or some of you with the calculators do it for you, type it in. And that will be 2x is equal to, somebody give me the, what? Is it 4 even?
Yep.
And then x is equal to what? All right, now, that's how you do the definition of logarithm. So that's one way to do it. And this one can be done both ways. Take the log of both sides. Log of 4096 is equal to log of 8 to 2x. What is this? That's a number, so go ahead and turn it into a number. There is no base, so it's assumed to be 10. I was just wondering, we look like we got our high school boys out there. Yep, backing up in the corner of the parking lot. Good God, that's so immature. They do that in Pendleton. Pendleton, y'all got people that park at certain parts of the parking lot, and they back their trucks up in the corner of the parking lot like in high school.
No, not really.
I hope not. All right, so what do? Somebody tell me, what's the left-hand side? I know, what is it? Somebody give it to me.
I tip every day.
I'm sorry, what?
3.6123593.
3.612, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and now you sit there and stare at it for 15 minutes. No, here's where, you're going into exponential equations. You've got to use 5.2, which is what? Rewrite.
Writing.
And what is the three rewriting rules? There's the power rule, the product rule, and the quotient rule. Which one is this?
Power.
So that's 2x. Bring this out front, log of 8. Now divide by log of 8, log of 8, and divide that by what? 2. So do all that, and x should be x is equal to 2. So that's how you do definition of logarithm, or you can do taking the log of what? Log of both sides also means the natural log of both sides. You can do it. It doesn't matter. Whatever you like. Okay? That 2x comes out front. You get the same thing. So, if I just used this right here and this right here, that means 10% of the problem is log and the rest of it's what? Algebra. Just like your calculus.
Do you always have to use, can you just like choose just one, like change base formula rather than the compound, or do you need to know both?
No, you're not going to be able to use the change-based formula all the time.
Okay.
You will be able to take the log of both sides both times. So taking the log of both sides is kind of like the grandfather. It can do anything it wants to. Whereas the definition of a logarithm is restricted. Next. Oh, not next. The next question. I'm going to erase this board. There we go. Now with this one, it's not going to be so simple to do, and let's see what they did on the first one. I'm just going to show you what they did on the first one. They took the log of both sides. And there you get, they got x equal to 2. On the second one, I think they're going to take they're going ahead and simplify and using the definition of a logarithm. So, divide by 6. Divided by 6 is going to be 24 to the 3x minus 2 is equal to 20. Now, finish that with definition of logarithm and also take the log of both sides. Now, would it behoove you to do both ways whenever possible? Yes. Because then you can see which one is easier, which one it takes. Now, some you're not going to be able to do that way because this is on a scale of 1 to 10, this is a 1. Okay? So, write down. Everybody should be writing. Everybody should be doing it. I don't understand why some people aren't writing. Must be nice to know it all. People say, why is he getting pissed off? It's my fault. I'm not doing anything. I mean, I'm just picking on people. I don't know. Maybe it's just what alls get on my nerves. I don't remember which one it is. The old saying goes, you try to be nice to people and they take advantage of you. Right, Jake?
That's right.
Why'd you got a Georgia shirt on? I thought you were one of these Clemson worshipers.
That's what I
I
said.
thought you sacrificed your dog to Clemson. Why are you wearing a Georgia uniform? Why are you wearing a Georgia
Uniform. My brother bought this for me.
Well, that's
He's a big
good.
Georgia
Your brother's got taste.
And I love my brother, so I wear the shirt.
Well, good.
But don't ever
I would
tell him
assume
I
that's
said
your
so.
older brother.
Younger brother.
Oh, younger brother. Does he go to Georgia or does he just like
No, he
Georgia?
goes here.
Oh, he does?
Tri-County.
Well, good. He should get you a PU shirt too. Pendleton University.
I've got one. It's like a football player on there. This is undefeated. It's just like 1962. It's pretty cool.
Hot. I think Clemson played Pendleton University this weekend, didn't they?
All right, if LSU and Clemson met in the Natty, who do you think would win?
LSU.
What?
Jay, how many teams does it take for you to beat in the top 10 for you to realize that they're a better team? I don't understand that. Oh, beat number 3, number 2, number 1. Clemson beat Hannah and Westside and Dorman. And I'm going to say that Clemson's going to beat LSU. Common sense dictates. Come on, man.
Fair enough.
You got to quit worshiping the Clemson Kool-Aid, man. Wait until they play the first team. Then you can, you know, maybe, I hope Clemson gets a national championship. But you're not going to be able to ascertain Clemson until they play one of the top 5. And I hope they win. But you're going to put money on Clemson on the first game, are you?
No, I mean, I don't bet, but I would if I did.
I wouldn't put money on Clemson or Ohio State because neither one of them has played anybody.
I think Ohio State's the best team in the country.
Well, that's your opinion. Who have they played?
You got a point there.
I know.
They're still good.
I agree that they're good. But are they number 1?
For a second.
No, I think what LSU's done makes them number 1. But I think in the playoffs, I think Ohio State is the only team that would beat Clemson.
I would not put money on the first game of the playoffs. I would not put money on Ohio State or Clemson because neither one of them. Now, after Ohio State plays Penn State and after they play Minnesota, if they win those 2 games, then I'll probably bet on them. But until then, they haven't played anybody. They're a good team. They're a top 5 team. I will agree to that. But they haven't played anybody yet. They haven't squatted 215 or 315 or they haven't done anything yet. You see what I'm saying?
But that was the same argument last year for Clemson, and it would beat Alabama by 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that they won't. But you got to wait and see the first game. I guess I'm just climbing up the wrong tree. I don't know if I don't know. You can't judge somebody that's been in the 3rd grade, you know, for a lifetime. Okay? If you wait to see how a guy does in a fight on the playground, and he's been in the 3rd grade for the last year, you're not going to be able to ascertain whether he's going to do anything because he's been fighting 3rd graders. You see what I'm saying, Jay?
Yeah.
Do you know anything about that? The KSI versus Logan Paul?
Oh, fuck's sake.
What?
Fight thing? Boxing?
Yeah, I follow boxing, but I don't follow some of the real weird fights.
Yeah.
I want to watch the Ortiz Deontay Wilder fight. That's going to be a good one. Because Ortiz has been the one that's given, except for Tyler Fury or whatever his name is giving him an actual fight. Ortiz about had him knocked out in the 12th round when they last fought.
Yeah.
Had him up against the ropes. Anyway, I'm sorry to take off. I'm giving y'all a break. But I will bet on Clemson if they win the first one. If they do, I don't know who they're going to play. But
Technically,
Well, who do you got in your
LSU only
number
has
4
one
spot?
top 5 win. Now,
I think the top 4 teams in the country, I think the top 5 teams in the country are correct. I just don't think Ohio State and Clemson should be as high as they are.
I think the rankings should be LSU, Ohio State, Clemson, Georgia.
I think Georgia and Alabama's done a whole lot more than Clemson or Ohio State.
I'd agree with that.
I mean, think about it. Who do they play? Who plays the most top 10 teams? Out of those 5, who plays the top 10 teams?
SEC.
Carolina Panthers.
Means more.
I mean, honestly,
It means more.
But you can't punish Clemson for their league suck.
I'm not punishing Clemson. I don't agree with the ACC. I think the ACC is a joke.
Hey,
Right.
fans were saying the same thing a couple years back when
Clemson is a dang good team, but they can't be measured playing 3rd graders all the time. I wish they would take the ACC. I wish they would rotate. I wish they would rotate teams out of each conference every 5 years. That's what I wish they would do. Because I mean, right now, who is the second team in the ACC? Virginia. And they what, 6-4 or something like that? The rest of the teams in ACC are 4-4.
Well, Wake Forest.
He ain't talking anymore.
Wake Forest,
What?
2 balls.
They don't know what to say.
Am I right? Am I right or wrong? Okay, what's wrong? What's wrong, Jake? You're not talking.
Both of them like about to go to a
I mean, he's
counselor.
right though. I mean, no good ACC team is there. So.
No.
Wake
Jake
Forest.
got quiet. Are you
20
sick or something?
Hey, we're on that building dudes team though.
No.
We agree with
I'm
y'all.
good.
I hope Clemson wins because I think it's great. I just don't know if they got it. I don't know. They got the depth, they got the coaching staff, they got the talent. But I don't know. They haven't played anybody, so I don't know what they're going to do till they get to the show. I know I'm not worshiping the Clemson gods. I know that, and I know I'm supposed to. But I'm a pragmatic person. If it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it's a damn duck. Anyway, what's my y here?
3x minus 2.
3x minus 2. And we just talked about probability and statistics is what we just talked about. So it still was mathematics for those of you that's going to bitch about it. It was mathematics, okay, probability. All right, so 3x, that's our y. So let's mark that out. What's our a?
4.
Log base 4 of what?
20.
And y'all can figure, because what is this?
Wait, time out. I put 20 over. Oh, it's 120. Okay, that makes sense. I thought it was 20 the whole time, so I had 20 over 6. That
Yeah,
makes
you
my
need
whole
to
thing.
read.
Yeah.
Okay? This is a number. So what have you got? After you do this, you've got a pre-algebra problem. So take the log of both sides. Natural log of, well, you don't have to, I would go ahead and divide by 6. Natural log of 4 to the 3x minus 2 equals 20. Natural log of 20. And then what? Power rule. Power rule goes out. 3x minus 20 times natural log of 4 is equal to natural log of 20. Now what?
Wait, how'd you get 3x minus 20?
Ain't that what? Oh, 3x minus 2. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you for paying attention
Yes, sir.
and not being on, watching movies. Okay? 3x minus 2. Now what? Well, you actually can divide by the natural log of 4, and then you got what? You basically got the change base formula here. Natural log of 20 over the natural log of 4. What do you have over here when you divide by the natural log of 4? Oh, look there. It's a miracle. And now you got a pre-algebra problem. 2 good questions. Possible test questions? Yes. Should you do them both by different ways? Yes. Should have the same answer. Okay. Solve 4 log 3x equals a negative 8 by converting to exponential form. God, they gotta get on this. They need to get in rewriting. It's old. 4. Go ahead and divide by 4. Somebody's having convulsions. What time is it?
And 33.
I guess you
Okay,
call
we got
me-
time. I don't know why people are having convulsions. All right. So that's going to be a negative 2. So log base 3x is equal to negative 2, right? And now we've got definition of a logarithm. Log base a of x is equal to y. A to the y is equal to what? And what is 3 to the negative 2 over 1? What is that? 1 over 9, Hubert.
Oh, yeah, negatives.
Test question on a scale of 1 to 10, that's a 1. Because you should know the definition of logarithm. I'm trying to get us there, y'all. I'm trying to get us there, but the slides are keeping us in kindergarten. Well, this is not too bad, but it's still doing the same thing. Subtract 6, divide by 3, then you got the natural log, which is, now I want to show you something here. I'll show you a trick I learned in the war. You can take that natural log and change it to the log base e and not skip a step. So minus 6, divide by 3. What's 6 divided by 3? 2 is equal to the natural log of x. Now I would change this to log base e of x is equal to 2, and now you've got the definition of logarithm. Why would I do that? Because some of y'all will do this and stare at it for 15 minutes and not do it on the test. So change the ln to log base what? E. These are not difficult. But if you decide to blank out and not do these problems, then you're going to be whiny and crying on the test when you can't do them, unless you already know everything. So, y is equal to log base a of x. Y is 2 is equal to, a to the y. A is e to the 2 is equal to what? And somebody take your handy dandy calculator and type second natural log, I think that's e, isn't it? And then to the 2, and you should get the answer.
7.38.
So it's another easy peasy 7.38. Yeah. Okay, that's another easy peasy question. Again, it's dictated by what? Algebra. All right. This one is got more than logs in it. First thing I would do I would probably distribute that x. A natural log. I'll see if they do that or they subtract the 3 first. Okay, they subtracted the natural log. Now they're going to distribute. Okay, so they left the 3 over here because you got to have what on the right side of the equal sign? A what? A number. Remember, a number? That's what you got to have. If you have a number over here, chances are you can use the definition of logarithm. Now, what did they do? They brought the natural log across the river, and that becomes natural log. Now they're going to distribute, and that's going to be 3 is equal to the natural log of x plus the natural log of 4 minus the natural log of x, and natural log of x cancels. Natural log of 4 is equal to 3. That shouldn't be right. That's not right. Unless, let's see what they did. Okay, oh, they rewrote, which is good. We can do that. Let's rewrite. So that's x. This right here gives us the quotient rule. Went in a different direction. That right here means the quotient rule. And now you've got 3, and rewrite. I'm going to rewrite this because that natural log will throw you off. 3 is equal to log base e of x plus 4 over x. Now what? E to the 3rd is equal to what? Now what do you have? A regular what? Algebra equation. Multiply both sides by x and solve for x. So multiply both sides by x, we get x e to the 3rd is equal to x plus 4. Bring the x across. We get x e to the 3rd minus x equals 4. X e to the 3rd minus 1 is equal to 4. Divide by e to the 3rd minus 1, which is what? What is e to the 3rd minus 1? What is that? Say what?
Number.
It's a number, so don't stare at it. Just do it. And your answer is 4 divided by e to the third minus 1.
Just 19.
Whatever it comes out to be. I don't know. Let's see what they got. They got 0.21. Okay? Question. I'm still trying to get to the ones that I really want to get to. They haven't got to it yet. I don't know if we're going to have it in 109. That's the same one. I'm not going over that one yet. I'm looking for a certain problem. Just hold on a minute. I guess we're not going to have them. I guess that's going to be it. Okay. That's enough for today. We'll go back over those exponentials when y'all come back next. Y'all work on 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, and we'll finish 5.3 and start on 5.4 come when? Thursday?
Those are all set. I have a
Say
question.
again?
Those are all set to be due tonight.
Yeah.
You want them still done for tonight?
Yeah. 5.1 through 5.3 should be done because, like I said, there's not much. Well, I might extend 5.3 till Thursday, but 5.1 and 5.2 should be done. Okay? All right. Y'all have a good day. And Jake,
Yeah.
Clemson still has a chance, man. Don't kill yourself. Don't commit suicide yet, man. They still have a chance.
Oh, yeah. But you want to know what?
What?
Three